Today, we're diving deep into a question that sparked intense debate in both philosophical and psychological circles. Can the ancient wisdom of Stoicism serve as an alternative to modern therapy? I'm your host from Stoic Directory, and we're about to embark on a fascinating journey through time, science, and human experience. Imagine you're struggling with anxiety. On one side, you have a 2,000-year-old philosophy that taught Roman emperors and slaves alike how to find peace. On the other, you have decades of scientific research and proven therapeutic techniques. Which path do you choose? Or is this even the right question to ask? Let's start with Sarah's story. A software engineer from Seattle, Sarah found herself overwhelmed by workplace stress and imposter syndrome. She tried both approaches, traditional therapy and Stoic practices. Her experience might surprise you, but we'll get to that later. First, let's understand what we're really comparing. Stoicism isn't just about keeping a stiff upper lip, and therapy isn't just lying on a couch talking about your childhood. Both are sophisticated systems for understanding and improving the human condition, but they approach it from radically different angles. The ancient wisdom: picture yourself in ancient Rome. The year is 170 CE, and Emperor Marcus Aurelius is writing in his journal by candlelight. His words would later become Meditations, one of Stoicism's most influential texts. But he wasn't just philosophizing, he was developing practical tools for mental resilience. The core principle of Stoicism is surprisingly modern. We suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." Sound familiar? This idea forms the foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy, developed nearly 2 millennia later. But Stoicism goes deeper. It teaches that true happiness comes from focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. It's about developing virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. These aren't just abstract concepts, they're practical tools for daily living. Modern psychology's revolution, fast forward to the present day. Psychology has evolved into a scientific discipline with various therapeutic approaches, each backed by research and clinical trials. From CBT to psychodynamic therapy, from mindfulness-based approaches to EMDR, we now have a toolkit that would have amazed the ancient Stoics. Dr. Jennifer Martinez, a clinical psychologist with 20 years of experience, explains, "Modern therapy isn't just about feeling better. It's about understanding the complex interplay between our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and relationships. We have techniques that have been proven effective for specific conditions." The surprising overlap. Here's where things get interesting. Many modern therapeutic techniques mirror Stoic practices. Cognitive restructuring in CBT reflects the Stoic practice of examining our judgments. Mindfulness therapy echoes the Stoic emphasis on present moment awareness, acceptance, and commitment. Therapy Acid shares the Stoic focus on accepting what we can't change. Remember Sarah? She discovered that combining both approaches worked best for her. "Therapy helped me understand the root causes of my anxiety," she says, "while Stoic practices gave me daily tools to manage it." The crucial differences. However, there are important distinctions. Modern therapy recognizes the role of trauma, chemical imbalances, and unconscious processes in a way that Stoicism couldn't. It also provides a trained professional who can offer objective feedback and spot potential mental health crises. Dr. Marcus Chen, a psychiatrist who studies ancient philosophy, points out, "Stoicism is powerful, but it's not equipped to handle severe mental illness. It's like trying to treat a broken leg with philosophy alone. Sometimes you need medical intervention." Before we continue this exploration, I want to take a moment to connect with you, our viewers. If you're finding value in this discussion about mental health and ancient wisdom, please consider subscribing to Stoic Directory. Your support helps us create more in-depth content exploring these crucial life questions. Hit that like button if you're learning something new, and share your thoughts in the comments below. The integration approach. Perhaps the most promising path forward isn't choosing between Stoicism and therapy, but integrating them thoughtfully. Modern practitioners are increasingly combining both approaches. Therapists incorporating Stoic exercises into their practice, Stoic study groups working with mental health professionals. New hybrid approaches that blend ancient wisdom with modern science. Take James, a veteran dealing with PTSD. Therapy helped me process my trauma, he shares, but Stoic principles helped me build a philosophical framework for moving forward. I needed both. The research perspective. Recent studies have begun examining the effectiveness of Stoic practices in mental health settings. A 2023 pilot study at the University of Exeter found that participants who practiced Stoic exercises alongside traditional therapy showed greater improvements in resilience and emotional regulation compared to those who only received therapy. However, researchers caution against seeing Stoicism as a replacement for professional help. Dr. Sarah Williams, lead researcher, notes, Stoicism can be a powerful complement to therapy, but it's not a substitute for professional mental health care, especially in cases of clinical depression, anxiety disorders, or trauma. Practical applications. So how can we apply these insights? Here's a balanced approach. 1. Recognize when you need professional help. 2. Use Stoic practices for daily mental maintenance. 3. Work with therapists who understand philosophical approaches. 4. Build a personal toolkit that draws from both traditions. The key is understanding that mental health isn't one size fits all. Different approaches work for different people at different times. The bigger picture. This debate reflects a larger question about how we approach mental health in the modern world. Are we too quick to medicalize normal human suffering? Or do we sometimes romanticize ancient wisdom at the expense of modern scientific advances? The answer likely lies in finding a middle ground. As Marcus Aurelius himself might have advised, we should take what's useful from each approach while maintaining our critical thinking. Closing thoughts. As we wrap up this exploration, remember that the goal isn't to choose between Stoicism and therapy, but to understand how both can contribute to our mental well-being. Whether you're dealing with everyday stress or clinical conditions, there's wisdom in both ancient philosophy and modern psychology. If you found this discussion valuable, please help us spread this message of balanced mental health care. Subscribe to Stoic Directory for more in-depth explorations of philosophy, psychology, and practical wisdom. Leave a comment sharing your experiences with either approach. Your story might help others on their journey. And don't forget to hit that like button to help more people find this important conversation. Remember, whether you choose the path of Stoicism, modern therapy, or both, the most important step is taking care of your mental health. Until next time, stay curious and take care of yourself.